Hey there, how you doing? So sometime in the near future, you and I are going to be meeting online for the formal interview for the role that you've applied for. Congratulations on getting to this point. Not everybody gets through to actually having the interview, so well done. I wanted to kind of share a few kind of tips and ideas with you in preparation for the interview, because the fact of the matter is, and I don't like this fact, but the fact of the matter is, you're in competition here. Right, you're not the only person that's applying. You won't be the only person that we're interviewing. And so, typically what we'll end up doing is putting 3 people forward to the client for them to consider. And so how it is that you conduct yourself through this interview process is going to be important, because it forms part of the marketing package, if you like, in terms of trying to kind of convince them that you're the right person for the role. So, and I don't want to kind of add any pressure to you by kind of making you, realize that it's a competitive environment, but that is the truth. At the end of the day, they're only likely to hire 1 person. Maybe if there's something exceptional, they might kind of go with 2. That's probably happened not even in a handful of times in the 5 years that I've been doing this. So, as you know, you're going to be coming into a platform which is known as Hinterview. We use that platform very deliberately rather than using Zoom or Teams, because it's a piece of recruitment purpose software. And what it allows me to do, will be recording the interview. And what it allows me to do is every time you say something that I want the client to pay particular attention to, something that's just, profound or, just powerful, I put a bookmark into the video, and then afterwards I write some notes in that bookmark. And so it highlights some stuff that you're going to say that I really want them to pay attention to, right? So, in preparation for the interview, first of all, some really simple, basic kind of fundamental things. Ideally be in a room that is well lit. Have the light on your face, not behind you, because that's going to put you in shadow, ideally, right? Ideally, make sure that you're in a comfortable seat. Try and have the camera angled such that we're looking straight into each other's eyes, rather than I'm looking up your nose at the top, or the top of your head. Have a glass of water on standby so that you can kind of keep yourself refreshed. And yeah, kind of make sure that you're somewhere that's comfortable and well lit. That's just kind of a basic fundamental thing. More important than all of that, though, is what I will do through the interview process is, first of all, I will kick off by asking you, tell me something about yourself, the human being, right? And I mean that as you, the human being, you, the person. So don't launch into your career history, right? I'm not asking about that yet. I really want you to kind of share with us something about you from a human perspective. And that's important, because each of the clients that we recruit for, and so the company you've applied to, go and work with now, is a small business, right? It's not a faceless, nameless corporate entity. It's a business run by a human being, maybe 1 or 2 human beings, might be a husband and wife team, or 2 brothers, or whatever the case may be, but they're humans and they're very, very emotionally attached to their business. And so, the other humans that they bring into the business is important to them. It's part of their decision-making process. So, as you share with us some things, some insights into, your story, your backstory, anything around, your values, the things that you find important in your life, how you spend your spare time, any of those sorts of things are really, really useful and valuable for you to share. What it also does, and the reason I asked that question up front, is it just gets you into the rhythm of having a conversation, right? From there, though, we are going to do the Cook's tour of your career background. And, one of the things that I really want you to be conscious of is I need you to be forthright. I need you to be giving. I need you to share, good, rich responses. I want you to try and keep those to somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes in length. If you're talking for more than 5 minutes in response to a question that I've asked, chances are you're over talking, right? And so what will begin to happen is the client at the other end who's watching your video is going, oh my God, what? Bored. you need to kind of be subtle and succinct. At the same time, though, I don't want you to also be too short, where you're not giving us any insight, any information about, your experiences and your capability. So as an example, if I say to you, tell me about your selling style. Oh yeah, I'm a solution seller. That's not going to cut it, right? So I need you to kind of expand on that. In particular, one of the things that I really want to encourage you to do is don't just rely on our job ad to inform you about the role and about the business. Go, be a professional salesperson, do your research, get onto their website, find out who the owners or founders are, and get into their LinkedIn profile, get an understanding of who they are and what they stand for. Have a really good understanding of who the organization is, and particularly what they sell. A dollar for, the number of candidates that have rocked up and said, which job is this again? What are they selling? And I appreciate that you've probably put applications in for a whole bunch of different roles. For this role, I need you to know your stuff, please. So go and do research on them, understand what it is they sell. More importantly, what problems do they solve? Who is their customer, right? And then as I'm asking you to kind of share with me, your career history, what I'm really asking you to do is help me by showing them, demonstrating to them through the stories that you tell, that, you understand their customers' world, that you are able to solve their customers' problems, by utilizing what this organization does, right? I'm going to suggest a formula for you. Some of you might be familiar with SPIN selling. Right, so that SPIN acronym: situation, problem, implication, need. Consider using SPIN in your answers to. So I'm going to ask you a question along the lines of, tell me about an occasion when you won a customer who is kind of like the ideal customer in this case. And what I'm going to suggest that you do is that you use the SPIN kind of acronym to describe. Right, so okay, so the situation we had with this particular prospect was. The problem that they were experiencing was, the implications to them if they didn't resolve that were, and so as a consequence, what they needed to do was, right? And then I'm going to suggest that you do add ER on the end, so it becomes spinner, right? And the ER essentially is, how did you execute, right? So in terms of having identified the situation, the problem, the implication if they don't fix it, and what do they need to kind of do to resolve that problem, how did you then execute on that? Right. And then ultimately, what was the result? Your result, right? What was the result that you achieved? What did you sell? How much did you sell it for? Right. And I want you to, get into a reasonable degree of depth around, how you brought that sale about. All right. Final piece of advice to you is around you asking good quality questions, right? I'm going to give you an opportunity. Once you've kind of done your song and dance routine, I turn the spotlight on me and I will say, what questions do you have, right? The quality of the questions that you ask will make a really big impact on how well you are received, right? And so ask me questions like, what's their average order value? What's their revenue at the moment? What is their ICP? What are their plans for the market going forward? Things of that nature. What's their current annual turnover? How many staff do they have? Things like that, right? So I want you to be curious. I want you to be interested. Yes, you can ask me the question of, so what's next in the process? But the more you show a genuine curiosity and an interest about their environment, the more powerful that's going to be on your behalf. Okay, so hopefully that's not patronizing for you. I don't want to teach you to suck eggs, as they say. But by the same token, I have to tell you, the number of people who come into this interview who are completely and utterly unprepared is mind-blowing, right? So hopefully I haven't, kind of scared you off at the same time. Soak this up, take advantage of it. If you've got questions before the interview, reach out to Aditi, have a conversation with her. She'll point you in the right direction. Alrighty, thanks very much for watching. I really do look forward to having a chat with you. And again, congratulations on getting to this point. Cheers for now. Bye.